Good afternoon. I'm Isabel Renedo from the apps team. Yeah? Okay, better. I'm a mobile tester there, as well as I give support. I'm going to talk about including the Moodle app as on your organizational processes. This is a really long title, just to tell you, just don't forget about it. Yeah? This is the team. Some of us are around, so go and say hi. And I'm aware that you are in a mood, that you are attending a presentation of the app, so probably you are already using the app. These are just suggestions, some ideas that I hope they'll be useful for you. I'm going to talk about some essentials regarding end users, as well as organizational processes, and I will do a summary, and if at the end there is time, then we will do questions. We will talk about user expectations, as well as how to access, brief notes on plans and accessibility, some comments for teachers, as well as who should they contact for help, for support. After seeing and reading and replying to a lot of tickets, a lot of reviews, I think our users, ours and yours, expect to open the browser and just see their courses there, and open the app and just see the courses there. It's more complex than that, because you have your own LMS with certain version in your own infrastructure, with maybe a firewall, your own certificate, a single sign-on, and so on. You probably have installed several plugins, and maybe you have already some custom code, preferably not to, and this connects to the standard Moodle app, which is connecting to thousands of other LMSs with different versions. So it's much more complex than what a student expects. So how to access? This is what the student can see when they log in, which is pretty obvious. It's the login of Moodle and your site. So it's pretty stupid question, and anyone who has managed to successfully log in will tell you, well, it's just easy. There is even need help there for them, but actually, some users don't know what to type there. Some, they just go blank and send us an email. On Google Play and the App Store, we need to introduce the developer mail, and that's us. So they send an email to us, confusing you and us all the time. There is also people who introduce the wrong URL. You have probably a URL for your institution, a different one for the students, for the employees portal. Some decide to just introduce their mail and expect some luck somewhere. People introduce numbers, which I'm going to assume they are phone numbers, student IDs, who knows. Then there's people who manage to log in, and then they see an error message they don't understand, and then again ask for help. I'm going to mention briefly, because I know Juan has mentioned the plans already. So just to mention that there's the free, the pro, and premium plan. There is several limitations and features, but the important ones, at least for me, are the push notifications limitations, as well as downloading courses. The slides are on the website, so you can find the information there. Regarding accessibility, just to mention that the app is accessible. It's ready for the voiceover, the talkover, but the content is on your site, so you need to adapt it and be sure it's ready. Some notes for the teachers, just to mention, sorry about that, that teachers, instructors, trainees can do some things with the app. They can create an assignment, introduce some notes, but the app focuses on empowering the students, so that's their purpose. It's the purpose of the app. So as Gerald was mentioning, it's better to plan for using the app. So some things need to be configured on the course so they work offline on the app. And then there's some plugins that they may not work on the app. And if that's the case, just go and talk with your site admin. Another request we have a lot of time from and your users is to have a way to know when something changes on the course. If you have an old LMS, I would suggest to use forums, messaging. If you have a current one, we have the send content change notification at the end of the configuration that you can select. And then when you save it, it's going to be send the notification to users who has access to this activity or resource. This is not a way to spam all users. This is just for big and important things. It's not that you found a misspell there. It's more like, I don't know, you are changing the date of the exam, or you are adding a chapter or deleting one. Important things. So now a big question should be this one. This is a bad joke. Okay, the image is there at least. Who you gonna call when you need help? It's a reminder that we have the party later on tonight. So the correct question is, whom should they contact for help? I was checking the other day for this presentation, and 95% of tickets that we receive from end users, we cannot help them because there are issues regarding access, or they are site issues. So your users and our users don't understand the difference between you and us, between your organizations and Moodle, but actually there is a big one, which is you can help them and we cannot. So it's an important one. So the answer to this question, you can guess, is you, well, your organization. This is just a personal note because I know that probably you have a support email or something like that, but sometimes it's better just to think like in a magical word for a second, and I will love that the student could talk to their teachers if their issue is related to content. And if the teacher cannot solve it, then they talk to the site admin. If it's something different, if it's an issue with the plugin, then the student or the teacher can talk with the site admin, and they can talk with the maintainer of the plugin, and so on. So how you remind users how to access, how to contact you. There is the sticky blocks. Just add a block on your LMS and make it available everywhere on your site. Then if you are trying to promote the app, the use of the app, enable app banners, as well as create your own download page. In that way you can, the student access the site on their mobile, on the browser, and they see a link there that they can open your website, and there is the information you introduce. So there is there the how to access, the login, and the information how to contact you. If a recommendation is to update to 4 onwards, where is the contact support tool there? You can introduce there your support email or your ticketing system there. So if you found an issue, we'll be happy to receive the information. If you're using a vanilla Moodle site connected to a standard Moodle app, and you are sure it's an issue, just open it on the tracker, check first that it's not open already. And if not, you can contact us using the forums. And it's not just us, it's the community reading. So if you have a specific issue with a theme or something, maybe somebody else can help you. Just, again, a personal suggestion is that you are really specific and really clear on what your issue is. Mention if it's which version of LMS you have. It's happening only on iOS or on Android. It's happening both. If it's a content issue, it's a video, it's not being shown. Have you tried on a browser on the same mobile? Because maybe it's just a device issue. And then if you add the screenshots, just help us and send them in English so we don't have to just guess what's going on there. So organizational processes, I'm going to talk about what to check and when to check it. So this is a bit long, but we tell people to check the day-to-day of a student, to log in using the app, to browse different courses, to enter one of the courses, to browse the content, to message somebody, complete an activity, so on. This is probably the 80%, 90% of the time of your users, so do this, check that everything works, as well as do the important parts. Check the exam, check the quizzes, the assignments, the important things they need to pass those courses. So I would suggest a couple of students enrolled in typical courses. You might decide to check a different screen size, so if it's a small and a tablet, for example, and to have an iPhone and another tablet. For teachers, we recommend that they log in using the app and revise content, videos, forms, try the quizzes, revise plugins, and so on. And there is a documentation regarding creating mobile-friendly courses. That's really helpful for site admins and IT departments and so on. When it's the same test, it's just that when you are logging in, if it's successful, you manage to log in, it means that your certificate is okay, that there is no redirects, that the authentication you're using are working correctly, that the firewall is letting the app access it, and that if there is no message telling you version.php something plugin name, that your plugins are correctly installed or uninstalled, which is important. Once you access, you can check remote themes as well as revise content, videos, scores, and so on. I added an initial checkup. It's not in this version, but check push notifications too. This is more like for the initial time you're gonna start using the app. Also for the people who had to open the access to the app using the pandemic. It's probably you were in a rush, so it's a good opportunity to stop for a bit and check it. So the important part is the previous slides, but in here, try to look for a similar look and feel. If you have corporate colors, use remote themes, so the app has a similar look and feel. If you're not using Site Home, disable Site Home on your app too. Some of these things depend on the plans, so double check that. When to check up? The thing is, there is a part that's come from the calendar. It's a part that comes from your site, and there's a part on the Moodle site. So for teachers, it's more a calendar thing. So at the beginning of the course, if possible, before starting the course, before exams, check the important things, that the quiz is working and so on. For site admins, IT department, so on, you are already test the SSL, the firewall, again, all this. And I'm adding that when you are updating your LMS version, you probably have a staging site. Connect that site to the app and check that everything works. Once you update your production site, double check again. And another thing to take into account is if you are changing your URL for any reason, because your URL you're using the year, or because you are merging with another company, tell your students, tell your users, because they need to log out and log in again with a new URL. If not, they are like in a zombie state, moving around, being able to access to what they already previously download, but when they try to post a forum or something, they receive an error message saying that the app cannot connect to the server, but the app doesn't know that you have changed the URL, so that's something to take into account. So the other side is when Moodle updates. I know Marie already showed some statistics that most people don't update until like 3 months later or something like that. In October, we will the release of 4.3, and you may say, okay, so what? Because I'm not gonna update my site yet. The thing is, we are gonna. So in some weeks later than the release of the LMS, the app teams just released the new version, meaning that your users are gonna update their Moodle apps on their devices. So now you have a new app that you haven't tested yet. So our suggestion is that you download the beta app first and check it. If you find any issue, the check-in is again the same testing we mentioned before. If you find any issue, you can give us feedback. We take that in account, and once we finish the beta, we test the beta, and we finish our QA testing. Noel is gonna talk about testing tomorrow morning. We release the new version of the app. If you didn't have time with the beta, then it's the perfect time to test the new version. So I'm just gonna sum up and connect a bit what I explained. It's important to remind users how to access and who to contact, especially during onboarding, at the start of the semester, and so on. We mentioned already on your LMS, you could add a sticky block and things I mentioned before. I want to add also to use forums, to use the mail. I don't know if it still sends physical letters, but if you do, go for it, just a reminder for them. I will remind them also about how to use the browser, how to connect to your site using the browser, because I think this e-learning is becoming the dog ate my homework thing, because when I talk with them, sometimes it's a bit, I cannot do the exam because nothing is working, it's okay, but it's important for you, so you have to find a solution. So for teachers, again, just suggest them to check their courses, probably beginning before the exams. Site admins, it's your site, the updating and changing the version, the firewall, the certificate, and so on. And on our site, when we're going to update, it's again another time to do so. So, time for questions. And you can find us in the Moodle stands.